Is porn as big of a problem as many make it out to be? There are messages we get from society and often religion that porn is immoral and sinful. Many spouses may even think it's cheating. I think it's important to take a look at the data to cut through the misconceptions and moral arguments that come from a sex-negative place. There was a study in the UK that sought to compare men who watch porn to men who have never watched porn. The problem was they couldn't find a single research participant in their 20s who had not watched porn. So they had to scrap the study and just looked at frequency and found that on average men watch porn about 3 days a week, about 40 minutes each time. These stats have been verified from internet service provider data, which is much more objective than asking people. This data from ISPs showed that only 1% of users will watch porn for more than anything like an hour at a time. Another thing to note is that porn watching is very normal. I like to compare porn with alcohol. The vast majority of people who drink do not have a problem with it whatsoever. With porn, for a small percentage of watchers, it can be pretty devastating, but that's only around 3 to 8% of them. In fact, more people engage in watching porn than drink alcohol. Over 98% of men and 75% of women have watched it in the past 6 months. That number is probably higher in women because they receive even more shame and stigma around their sexual behavior. Despite these facts, there are still a small percentage of people who do struggle with porn. There are massive online communities like NoFap or religious groups centered around giving up porn and even masturbation due to a variety of consequences. It's true that watching a lot of hardcore porn, especially from a young age, can become compulsive and ruin real sexual experiences. This often happens through the Coolidge effect, where mammals build a tolerance for sexual stimulation when you have more options. Then one requires more and more intensity to have the same level of pleasure. I find that many men who fight their porn watching get trapped in a shame cycle, which increases their compulsive engagement. They are using the simple pleasure to cope with their negative feelings and guilt on top of other emotions they're trying to self-soothe. Therefore, many of these men trying to quit porn do not find the success they're looking for. They are fighting their natural desires and beating themselves up for not succeeding. Fighting against millions of years of reproductive evolution tends not to work out so well. The bottom line is that porn is a healthy, or at least not damaging, sexual outlet for the vast majority of people. There's a small subset that will struggle, and there is help out there for them, but it needs to come from a place of non-judgment and sex positivity to avoid that shame cycle that keeps people trapped and unhappy. I'm Evan the Counselor, and if you like that video, please subscribe and check out my other socials for more content like that.